When I hear people say, the church's got too many rules, I know they're talking about morality, what's right to do and what's wrong to do. Most of the time when people say the church has too many rules, it really comes down to two things that they're talking about. Sex and going to church on Sunday. We need to attend Mass. You need to be with the community. You need to give glory to God. Everybody says, well, I pray, but I don't need to go to church to do that. First of all, you probably stop praying at some point. The discipline just isn't there. We need each other to help keep ourselves on the straight and narrow to pray often. Second, so you're telling me you pray, but you just won't pray with me. What's wrong with me? So why don't you want to be with this community? Well, I just don't want to make the commitment on Sunday morning. There's so many different options, but a lot of times it becomes just excuses. Now, there are people that are like medical professionals that work during that time, and they need to talk to their pastors and come up with other times. You're a firefighter, you got to work on a Sunday. Of course you do. So you got to talk to your pastor to come up with another plan on how you're going to do that. But you can't just ignore your community, especially when that's the way Jesus wanted us to do it. Not just you talk individually. He wants you to receive the sacraments, and he wants you to be in community with each other. And maybe you're there for somebody else, maybe they're there for you, but you never know if you never show up. And so unfortunately, really comes down to this. People are bored. It's not as entertaining as all the other options they have. Granted, we work on it, we try to do the best we can. No, we're not a movie theater. It's just not going to be like that. And yet, nonetheless, I think there's something really beautiful and meaningful about dedicating just taking an hour and saying, Lord, I give you this hour. However you want to use this hour, Lord, it's yours. It's yours. Mold me, shape me. I give myself to you this hour. And that's kind of what it's all about. And hopefully you have a good parish, a good priest, a good deacon that's going to help to develop you spiritually. But it isn't really about I like it or I don't like it. It's about giving God the time that's necessary. Other things, you are required to baptize your children. If you're Catholic, you got to baptize your children. You don't wait until they grow up. It's like saying to a kid, well, you can put anything you want in your mouth and then make you wouldn't do that. You'd say, I know what's good for you, and I'll teach you what's good for you. Same thing, you know that Mass is good. You know that baptism's good. You know that Jesus is good. You know the church is good. You give the kids what is good. You don't deprive them of that. Contribute to the mission of the church. You put in the collection basket. You don't have to put a huge amount of money. That decision is yours. We suggest that you do a tithe. Mind you, a tithe doesn't mean give 10% of your income to the church. Most people do more like 5% to the church. And they use the other 5% for other things, like their kids' education, for maybe even doing a pilgrimage, or helping the homeless people. Whatever you want to use it for. It's your money. You make the decision on how you're going to use it. But contribute to the mission of the greater church. Help us do the things that Jesus asks us to do. You get to decide in what way you're helping.